morning, good evening. Welcome to this week's live chat. We're going to be talking about getting started on live streaming. I know that there's other videos out there that we have discussed this on, but I wanted to run over it again because it's one of these things where we need to be reminded every now and again that it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be tricky. You know as well as I do, if you've been here before, we've had some technology issues the last couple of weeks, and it'd be really easy for me to go, you know what? No, I'm not going to stream this week. I leave for a holiday in a couple of hours. I'll just skip it. I'll avoid that kind of hassle. But what was really perplexing me about the tech issues is they were only happening on this stream. They weren't happening on my Thursday stream. So today I did the lead up that I normally do for my Thursday stream, which is because it starts an hour later, I leave everything on for a little bit longer and it just works. And that's what I've done today. So hopefully I haven't jinxed it. Hopefully the camera's not going to turn itself off for some rando reason. But I set everything up just a dash earlier. Just all I did was turn it on. That's it. So good morning, hello, good evening to those of you that are jumping in. The reason I jump around with the time zones of hellos and what have you is I'm in Australia. It is Monday morning, 9 a.m. here. I know that some of you are in the USA and it is your Sunday evening. So let me know in the chat where you're from so that I can get an idea if I'm actually just being silly with this morning, evening, afternoon thing. It could be confusing. It could be confusing. Doug has asked for the list of chat commands. You can jump in. Anybody can jump in and have a look at that list. And if there is a fun thing on there that you would like to trigger, you get to do that. That's your decision. That's something for you to do, to enjoy the stream, to just feel like you're a little bit more part of the production. And I love it when you jump in and all the little GIFs, they pop up over here, Chantelle. The GIFs pop up here and they remind me to do things. So let's have a look here. I've got a few people jumping in. Doug's got Make It So going. Good job, Doug. Home Rapid Repair is here. It's great to see you. Live stream with John Lacey is here. Us plus Dad. It's great to see you. Home Rapid Repair is from Michigan. Sir Book Sage is Sunday evening in Florida. Live Stream Consultants is from Deming in New Mexico. Doug is here in Bris Vegas, where it is hot and steamy. It is not awesome. Jerry Poppendreyer, it's great to see you. As always, I love it when you jump in, Jerry. And Us Plus Dad is from Iowa. Sorry, I nearly missed that. And you were first cab off the rank with that one. Sorry, Us Plus Dad. So getting started on our live streaming, and reminding ourselves to do it and to keep going. Sometimes it can be, we make a mountain out of a molehill. Let's be honest. Like, let me know in the chat. When it's time for you to go live, are you just like, oh, I need to do 14 million things before I can go live? Or I need to have XYZ equipment or this streaming software or, let me know in the chat, what was the big hurdle for you to start live streaming? I know some of you live stream regularly. Some of you have had a go at live streaming, and I know some of you haven't live streamed yet. So those of you that have, what is some of the things that you're just like, oh man, this is the hard part of my stream? And those of you that haven't, let me know what it is that's holding you back, that's stopping you from hitting go live. Now, I've had a couple of really rough weeks with this live stream. Last week I tried to be like super duper organized, to be all planned out and have a script and use my teleprompter, and they all failed. And it was just like, what? Like, I had to see to the pants anyway. And look, I'm okay with the live interaction from seat of the pantsing it and that's fine. But I like to have, a bit of a plan, a bit of an idea of where we're going and how it's going to go, and for that plan to actually work. So while you guys are letting me know what are the things that have been hurdles for you in the past or are hurdles for you right now, my beverages of choice today are, I have some water and I have a coffee, which is only my second coffee of the morning. So, it could be a thing. Is one of mine, Doug? I'm not sure if it is. And let me know when there's a noise, like my phone is connected to, like, all right. I bought an iPhone. It's my first one. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but it's connected to my computer because I needed it to be for a task. And now whenever it's within proximity, it makes noises on my computer. So let me know if you guys can hear those noises, and I'll try and, I can't work out how to do them, turn them off right now unless somebody knows and can walk me through it. But otherwise I can ignore it if you guys can. So let me just drop that up there. All right. So when it comes to deciding to live stream, why do you feel that live streaming is going to be the thing that you need? For some of us, the live stream, like for me, the live stream is my happy place. It's my preferred way of making content. For some reason, I struggle so much more when it comes to making pre-recorded content. And I know for some people it's the opposite. They really struggle with live streaming, but then can knock out pre-recorded like that. And some people can do both, no problems. And everybody is a little bit different. Nothing is incorrect. Some things will make it a little slower to grow on YouTube, which live streaming alone in a non-entertainment area, which is what I do, definitely does slow that down. Hey Lee, welcome to the chat. And yeah, welcome to the dark side with the iPhone. Look, I'm not hating it. Let's just go with that. I'm not hating it. It's a bit different. There was a couple of things that, like, seriously, I cannot change the size of the keyboard. I've got little fat fingers and I keep accidentally hitting the wrong thing. And on my Android, I could just pinch it out just a little bit and just make it a little bit bigger. Anyway, seriously. Also, why can't I choose how many icons I have on each individual screen? Why can't I choose that? Anyway, it's not a complaint about my new iPhone thing. Aside from pretty much those two things, I think I'm okay with it. It won't be until I try to go and do something that I'll be like, oh, wait a second, I can't do that thing. That's annoying. So for now, it's fine. For now, it's good. And it did I tested it out. I gave it a live run test and it did the thing I needed it to do. So that's why I bought it. John says, weirdly, I got a 1.2K for my last live stream on YouTube in the space of a week. I've never had that kind of attention. What was the topic on, John? Was it something particularly, like, was there a change in topic? Did you try a new thumbnail idea? Was anything different? I'd definitely be digging into that because that is crazy good. That is crazy good. A live stream consultant says that he's got a list of 30 plus things that I have to do before the live streams I run. Multiple monitors, 8 wireless mics, cameras, 2 computers, soundboard, external speaker amplifier, streaming software, etc. And I would hope that you who is running your live streams professionally to help other people, that your list is pristine, that your list and that you run it in a way and in a timely manner that you've got, and I know you've got spares for everything. So if something doesn't work, you can just unplug it and throw it back in. You know, these are the things. These are the things that you do as somebody who runs live streams for other people. And I love that. I love it so much. Sabrina Norbert. Hello, Sabrina. How are you going? Glad you found us. Sabrina and I know each other from Justin Brown's Primal Video Accelerator program, and Sabrina is looking to jump in and start live streaming. So that is very cool. Lee says, listening at working on my camera setup on my PC. Listening as I work on I'm not quite sure what you're doing, but that is great. John says, it was an OBS Studio plugins was the subject. Well, they've got so many plugins. Maybe you could do a follow-up. That sounds like a great one. And so that was all in replay as well. Can't fix the power grid going down yet. Look, I know of, funnily enough, a YouTube channel that I watch. They're called Off Grid Alaska. They've recently just installed, off the top of my head, I think they're Anchor brand. I could be wrong. But basically, they're these big, giant things, and their solar system and their generator charge them, and then they run the power for the rest of the house. But you can plug them into mains power and get them to draw off mains power, and these things can run their entire house for days. So it might be an option, especially if you're doing this as a business. And like, I will say they are portable. Like they're big, and I'm sure they're heavy, but they are maneuverable. Definitely would be worth having a look into that if the power grid going down is something that happens fairly regularly. Yeah, that's right. Follow it up. That's exactly what I would do. Follow it up. That worked, and it's not like you've already covered all the plugins, because there's no way in one single stream you could have covered all the plugins. Oh, that's the idea. Okay. Oh, good. John said, I had a blackout on Friday night. Yeah, like we're in the cities and blackouts still happen. Sabrina is asking, what is the list of chat commands? So Sabrina, I have this list of chat commands. I use something called Social Stream Ninja. And that's how I'm bringing the comments on screen. I know Ecamm lets you do it as well. But this way, if somebody uses an emoji that like one of the YouTube emojis where it normally just types out like blue smiling happy face, and when you show it on screen, it's like Sabrina said, blue smiling happy face. This would actually show the full proper comment. If you're getting super chats, if you're getting if you're getting member milestones, things like this, it brings them up in their proper colors with a little bit of extra pretty. Totally free to use. Any kind of internet streaming will work with it, as long as you can incorporate a browser source, which Ecamm does. So, and I know, Sabrina, that you're just playing with Ecamm now. So I'm running Ecamm right now, so it works on here. So the list of chat commands is a way for you to interact with me. So here we go. So Doug's tossed up a whole pile of these. Usually, if I brought that up on screen in Ecamm, it would just write out the words in brackets of each one, and they just fill the screen. I've obviously turned on a few extra things. So it like the hydrate and the coffee, all of these things make it so that you can interact with me. So if I'm sounding a bit hoarse and I keep talking, or you just need me to stop for just a little second, I'll stop and have a little drink of water when the hydrate comes up or when the coffee comes up, you know. Oh, here we go. I can add that. This is how it brings it up for Ecamm, right? The face wide. And this is how it brings it up for the other one. So, you know, you get to choose. I get to have both. They're right there. I can choose. So Sabrina says, phew, this is totally new to me. Let me test it. Yeah, like have some fun with it. Have some fun with it. I'm all about, I didn't have the drink. I'm all about the live streams need to be interactive. And I know that's not the case for everybody. Everyone's going to have their own idea of what their live stream needs to look like. They've got their own ideas. Yeah, that's right. So if you type the happy dance, live stream consultants just put the squirrel up and the squirrel shows in the screen. So the app, so the Social Stream Ninja app does all the work. I don't have to do anything. You typing in triggers their thing, which I've allowed it to access into here, and it shows it up as a layer. So yeah, but yeah, so you just have to type it in. And if you type, you know, command list, so like the exclamation point list, there we go. There's the happy dance. It is. There it is. Doing a happy dance. So, and you get to choose them. So these are ones that I went through and found and chose. I worked out that it only worked with GIFs from Giphy. I couldn't use GIFs from, where was the other place? Livestream consultants. Where were you sending me GIFs from? Because I couldn't get those to work. Could be user error. Could be user error. Like, let's be honest, it could well be. But the ones from Giphy just worked. So having ways, like, for me, yes, it's distracting, right? And like, I'm all about that squirrel life. But at the same time, I want to be distracted by you. I want to be distracted by you, because you're here to ask questions. You're here to learn. You're here to you know, interact with me. So it's just one of these things where you've got to do the balance. You've got to do the balance. John says, I've made tutorial videos on Social Stream Ninja, but I felt the need to blur out the session ID. But now there's a setting that does that automatically. Should redo it. Yeah. So Sabrina's asking, do I need to download an app? No. So you'll need to download Social Stream Ninja. So do I have Social Stream Ninja in the description? I'm not sure if I do, to be honest, but I'll send you some information about it, Sabrina, in our chat. But yeah, so or you can just Google Social Stream Ninja. They have a Discord, which is phenomenal for help, honestly. They really want everyone to succeed. Also, free to use. It's not like, oh, you'll have to pay $15 a month or something like that. It's free to use. The guy who develops it is constantly doing updates and keeping on top of it. So I feel that every now and again I throw him a coffee because he's got to buy me a coffee just like I do. And, you know, every now and again I throw him a coffee because seriously, he deserves it. Like, I use this thing for 2 streams a week and it's no problems at all. No problems at all. Can you guys hear the blip? I don't know if it's coming through for you or just for me. Because if it's just for me, I'm just going to turn the volume right down. So I can't hear it. All right. Social Stream Ninja can be, oh, you can hear the blip. Well, that's annoying. I don't know how to turn it off. It's a new thing for me. Oh, Doug doesn't hear it. Okay, cool. Social Stream Ninja is a standalone app, or it can be a browser plugin. Cool. Not cool, but it is. That's correct. I personally have the app installed. I just find it to be a little bit easier. And yeah, so, but you get to choose. You get to choose which way works better for you, okay? So, and this is one of the things I love about live streaming, and I love about YouTube, and I love about video making and crafting as well. It's the same attitude I have for crafting too, which is, oh, my hair is just sticking out here, isn't it? There we go. I'll use my glasses. Is you get to choose. This is your journey. This is your channel. You're building your audience. What works for me may not be what you want. And you might want to go off on another tangent, and that's okay. That's more than okay. Having our own individual identities in our own live streams is so important. You don't want to rock up to my live stream trying to work out if this is this Doug's stream? Is this Daryl's stream? Is it Justin's stream? Is it Roberto's stream? Is it, you know, anyone else's? Like, my brain just went totally blank on every other YouTube channel name in the entire world that live streams. But I don't want that. I want you to come here and know this is my stream. And you want people to feel that same way about going to yours. Make it your own. Do something that's a bit different. Even like for me, I've got a thing about all the pretty lights, but I don't have the nice deep space that some of the other guys have. So I've done what I can. I have to multi-use my space. So this is also just my desk. So all my camera, like my cameras, my lights, everything are just connected onto a desk. So this is just a desk in the corner of a room. If you check out my Instagram, you can see photos of it. You know, it's just a desk in a corner of a room. All my crafting stuff is here and over there, which luckily you can't see. Because it's just, I'm just waiting for it to fall down and bury me. And it's all just stuff around that I use, right? So it's not even all here for pretty. It's all stuff I use. Like, I'm in the middle of blocking a project. I'm in the middle of testing some stuff here, which you can't see. I'm pointing at something you can't see. That's very smart. I store blankets there because I've got nowhere else to store massive blankets. So yeah, it's just one of these crazy places, like crazy things where you make it how you want to make it. Do you want a secondary camera? Do you want a third camera? Do you want a fourth camera? You can have that if you want. If your system and your computer will let you have it, you can have that. So, you know, you've just got to decide what it is that you want. Now, for me, when I very first started live streaming, I had in mind it was for my craft channels for Fiberific over there, which I think we're nearly up to 7,000 subscribers over there now. Which I really just wanted a camera for my face and a camera for my hands. And that's what I wanted. So I didn't have any bells and whistles. I don't even think I had any frames. I just literally had a camera and a camera. And I was using OBS because I needed all the free stuff. I had no income for this stuff. I was using free stuff and dodgy old Australian internet. I think I had like 2 megabits per second upload speed. So it was not awesome, right? But I made it work because it's what I wanted. And this is one of the things that I really believe, and I believe this when it comes to any kind of technology and when it comes to crafting. If you want something, you'll learn how to do it. But if you don't actually really want it, it can just be too hard or too annoying to learn how to do. But if you really, really want something, you'll put the effort in. So if you're learning to knit and you really, really, really want that cable beanie, make the cable beanie. Don't be all like, oh, well, I have to make 15 scarves first. No, you're going to hate all of the scarves. You want the cable beanie. Learn how to make the cable beanie. You know, like, and it's the same with making YouTube videos and live streaming. If you want to live stream, you don't need to make 40,000 videos first. You don't. You can just make the live stream. Now, there are consequences to our decisions. If you go ahead and make that cable beanie before you learn how to do anything else, it could be a bit meh. You don't understand tension. You don't understand wool choice. There's lots of different things. But you made the cable beanie. And then you can make it again, understanding new things. If you go in and start live streaming on a channel that has got 0 subscribers and zero life, it's never been out there, it's never done anything, there's no videos, it's just a fresh blank new channel, good chance you're not going to have many people show up to your stream. You know, and that's okay too, because it gives you an opportunity to learn how to do this stuff. So let's have a look in the chat here. Let's have a look. John Lacey wants to know, is this the stream where we talk about the prompter or the stream where we're talking about the 5 spinning wheels? Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be both. It could be both. But this is the stream where we're talking about live streaming and technology. But in saying that, I definitely feel like, how do I put this? When I first started this channel, I tried to separate out my Fiberific life as hard as possible, to the point where I was changing the color of the lights for each of the streams. Each stream had its own colors. I was rearranging these shelves. I was clearing this. I was readjusting everything over here. And then I realized every time, not only was it time out of the day that I didn't really need to be doing, but it was like I was ashamed of part of myself. And I am not ashamed that I came up crafting. I love that. I love that that's where I've started. And I love that that's where I have my passion. And I get to have both my passion projects happening at once, which, how often can we say that in our lives? We've got 2 of our favorite things happening at the same time. So, you know, let's have a look here. Gotta love autocorrect. Yes, Sabrina loves my space. Thank you, Sabrina. It's been a work in progress. It's been a work in progress. I didn't have it all pretty and all nice to start with. Home Rapid Repair says, I may have missed last stream due to the Super Bowl. Did you share if you like the Elgato prompter? My Elgato prompter played up last week. It actually froze on me, but it turned out my whole computer was being a bit of a buttocks, and I think it was actually a broader system. I've done an update and everything's been good ever since. I don't know what on earth happened last week, but my camera froze, my prompter froze, everything was just, when I was using my mouse, it was like, you know, not working properly. I think it was a broader issue. But yeah, the prompter did come up last week. I had a script in the prompter and I couldn't get it, and I hadn't printed it out. So I had to quickly open up the Google Docs. So therefore I had like bright reflection in my glasses. It was not my finest hour. Let's just go with that. Let's have a look here. Sabrina says, when you're live, are you only on YouTube? Do you stream it anywhere else simultaneously? Right now we're streaming both to YouTube and LinkedIn. Now using Ecamm, when you multi-stream, you have to have the internet power to push that out. So some of the streaming services like StreamYard, like EVMux, and some of those other browser streaming services, that you do it from the cloud. So you just send to the cloud, and the cloud sends a lot. So you're just sending that one signal. When you're doing it from your computer, so whether you're using like OBS or Ecamm, any of those sorts of ones that you download into your computer and then send out, then you have individual stream load going off your computer all at the same time. So you just need to make sure that you are, make sure that you're aware, but you can totally do it. You just need to be aware of what you've got. John says, I actually have 2 very distinctive live streams in 2025, but much of that is just because I wanted to play with the branding and the scenes and the sources. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, one thing, oh, hello, Louie. What's going on? What is happening here? You're being very cute. Louis doing that. I would like to go outside dance, but you can't go out. No. Little tail going now. I said the O word. I should never have said the O word. I can't look at him now. He's doing the look at her. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm stuck here for just a bit longer. You'll have to wait. Dad will be home soon. John saying, oh, just so you know, the prompter works really well on Windows. It was the first time I'd had a prompter issue, I think. Other than my learning curve, it was the first issue I'd had with it. Oh, don't be like that. He's pouring at me. Come here. Everyone has to see how adorable you're looking right now. He is a sad boy who really wants to run and play. You've got the whole house. You've got the whole house. Sabrina says, what are the settings I need to stream to multiple platforms at once? So it basically comes down to when you're setting up your stream, you need to be, you need to choose extra destinations. So you get to tap to add destination. You can add YouTube. Tap to add your other destinations, and you'll need to connect all those destinations. But Ecamm will walk you through it to make sure that they're all connected. And so, you just need to tap and add destinations. But I highly recommend running speed tests. Each individual stream, I run my streams at a 1080p. Each stream is approximately 5 megabits per second upload. So me running out 2 streams, it's 10 megabits per second upload. I have 40, so 10 should be fine without any issues, even if it dips and does its little thing. So yeah, it's just adding each individual destination when you're setting up your stream. Ecamm has really great tutorials on how to add multiple destinations. So I would definitely be digging into the Ecamm documentation on their website. So, and that's the other thing. Like, so while I'm live streaming here on YouTube, I focus on YouTube. The majority of you are here watching in the YouTube audience, but I do know there are some views over on LinkedIn as well in this stream. My Fiberific Thursday live streams, I used to multi-stream across to my Facebook group as well as to my YouTube channel. But now I just stream it to the YouTube channel and just tell everybody in the Facebook group to go and watch it on YouTube. Do you recommend specific internet connections and laptop specs that I should consider? I honestly believe that you need for Ecamm to get, especially if you want to multi-stream and things like that, you need a silicon Mac. So I'm currently running with a M1 Mac Mini. So a 16 gigabyte M1 Mac Mini is running all of this right now. But I would buy, I can't believe I'm saying this. I would make sure that I have the most up-to-date latest Mac that I could afford without going crazy, if that makes any sense, because that way you've got it for ages. Also, if you're going to be buying a laptop to run it, I would absolutely get a MacBook Pro. You want the fans. You need the fans when you're live streaming. You're putting that computer under load. The MacBook Air cannot cope with it as well. I would make sure you get a MacBook Pro. Even just a MacBook Pro M2 16 gigabit would be my minimum that I would go. but I would also like the Mac Minis don't have fans and it runs fine. So, but yeah, I don't know. Doug, do you understand why it works so good on a Mac Mini, but then not so good on a MacBook Air? I don't really understand the tech. I'm new to Mac. Doug's been around Macs for much longer. Doug says there's so much Ecamm content on YouTube as well, and there's the great around the community. Yeah. Oh, so you have an M3 Max. Oh, then you're fine. What you have is totally fine. So it's an M3 Max. It should be M3 Max would have to be a MacBook Pro anyway, because you can't get a Max on an Air. So that's. I think you're totally fine. You're 100. I think it's M3 is good to go. Like Doug said here, good to go. Mr. Robbie, great to see you here. Thanks for jumping in. But yeah, and I agree with Doug. Any of the M series will do it. I've got an M1 16 gigabit running this stream right now, so it's not new. My MacBook Pro is an M3. I actually haven't tested running a stream from that. I probably should, but I haven't. So this is working fine and everything's connected. And so what I've got connected to this to make it so I can have multiple cameras, Mac's notorious for having very, very few ports. I have an OWC hub. And the reason I went with the OWC hub rather than having just cheapy hubs is these things can actually transport multiple cameras as well. They can move power around. I don't want to go too nitty gritty and deep into them, but I have found it was far superior. And like, yep, it was 10 times the price of the other hubs. Like in Australian dollars, it was $350 Australian. So I think it's probably about 200 US, worth every cent. Get one of those to connect as well. I'm so close to just biting the bullet and buying a second one to connect to my laptop. Like, I'm not kidding. I'm just really in love with the OWC. But yeah, they're small, they're compact, they're not like they're not big. They're about the size of a phone. Let me just, here, I can just show you. I'm like, do I really want to show this part of my desk? But yes, I will show it to you. So let me just jump here. Where is it? There we go, 2 camera close. Oh, look, there's my coffee cup. But here is my hub. It's a bit dirty. And connected into it, I've got extra cameras. I've got lots of my rotors connected to it. Everything is connected to it, and I have no problems with them glitching or anything like that. So it's the OWC, and admittedly, because you can actually what do you call that? Daisy chain. So follow that U-green cord, and I've actually got connected an extra couple of things. So, but they're just like a little printer and stuff like that. Nothing too. Oops! I just knocked over my little stand. I know I'm making everyone a bit nauseous with that moving around, so I'll just stop that. But yeah, so having great connections is another good thing. For internet connections, you're always better off going connected with connecting with a plug, hardwired over Wi-Fi. In saying that, currently going over Wi-Fi. If you've got good, strong Wi-Fi, I've got Google Mesh, so usually it's not a problem. Every now and again, it's a bit of a whingy complainer, but it was fine today. So I went with that. Let's have a look here. What about speed internet connection? Yeah, so yeah, I'd make sure that you're hardlining into your computer with an Ethernet plug if you can. Always far superior. And when you're looking at different things, you want to be making sure that you're making as few points of failure as possible. Wi-Fi can play up. Wi-Fi can be disrupted. Lots of things can happen to Wi-Fi. Plugging into a power cord, something's got to chew through the cord, hello cats, or something's got to actually happen to your internet, which could be an issue. In saying that, I also have my phone backed up, so if my Wi-Fi goes down, it can just switch over to my phone data. You don't have to do that. You could just make the decision to not be live if that's a hassle. So, but you've got a lot of really good options. But if I've got the choice, if I didn't have to run a cord 15 meters through all the living spaces of my family home, I would hardwire it in and permanently and leave it that way. But that's not really an option for me. So you get to decide what works for you and what's good enough, right? We don't have to make it perfect. It's what's good enough, all right? Doug says that in his studio, he's still running his M1 Mac Mini. Yeah. I was like, oh, am I going to have to, like, because I just had to fork out for a phone. I'm like, oh, should I actually save just in case I have to replace the Mac Mini? And I'm like, it's actually going pretty good. And I do have a laptop I could use instead. Mr. Robbie says, I don't have a large enough community to do live streaming. I mean, look, technically speaking, I don't have a large enough community to do live streaming in some people's eyes. I honestly believe that if you start live streaming and you're making live stream content that is valuable to people, that is worth their time to sit in and watch, because that's the other thing. Every minute someone's in a live stream with you or watching you, they're not doing something else. So are you giving them value? Is it, whether it's entertainment, education, newsworthiness, whatever it is it valuable enough for them to use those minutes with you rather than with someone else or with their families or with their jobs? Do you know what I mean? Like, so you're not just competing against people's viewing choices. You're competing against people's entire lives. So, you get to sort of decide. I also personally believe our first live streams are pretty crap, right? Let's be honest. It's like they're pretty crap. We're nervous. We don't know if the technology is working. We're learning how to do everything. Those people that jump in on those ones, just be really honest. Like, hey, I'm just playing here. I'm just learning how to work this new software. I'm testing it all out. Please ask me questions and let me know if I'm still live. Did I crash and not even notice? And if you're really, really open and honest with people and don't try to be like, I am the professional and I know how to do everything and I will make it all perfect. I mean, I've been live streaming for 8 years. My last 2 streams on this channel had crashed at the start. And I've had to switch over to an alternative camera. Admittedly, turned out I had an issue with my camera, but I never portray the fact that I am like the consummate professional, because I'm not. I'm just like you. I'm here tinkering. I'm learning. Yes. Larry has bought me coffee for the win. Thanks, Larry. Appreciate you, champion. I don't know why that's right in front of my face, but okay. Can I move the widget? I can. I've moved it over just a little bit. So if somebody else sends me one, it shouldn't smack right in my forehead. Hopefully it shouldn't smack right in my forehead. So we need to be making sure that A, we're giving value, and B, we're giving a real honest declaration of where we're at. Now, I see myself as one of these, and I'm the same with my craft teaching journey, is I see myself as that teacher who is just the next rung up the ladder. That is just, I've tested that thing out and I'm having a go at it, but it didn't work. I'm going to try again. That's me. That's where I'm at. I'm constantly trialing and failing and doing all of these things. I don't portray myself to be this live streaming amazingness. I test stuff. I play with things and test stuff. So Sabrina says, so I can add a USB extension without compromising the transmission. No, it needs to be Ethernet, I think. I'm not sure what a USB-C extension is. Oh, unless you're talking about plugging in the USB-C connector, like dongle, that you can plug an Ethernet into, then you're right. That won't compromise your transmission. I'm just having a dig through here. I'm a bit behind. John says, I've had a lot of success with power line adapters. That means I can connect to the Ethernet via my house's electrical circuits. Yeah, so I'm sorry, my dog really is losing it, but I think it's just my husband home, so it's not really a lot I can do. But I personally couldn't use it because I've got 3 or 4 different circuits through my house. I don't have just the one. So, but definitely also worth checking and looking into it because it looks really promising. I had a good look at it before I made the decision not to worry about it. But that is a really good option as well. Yes, Yeah, if your laptop doesn't have an Ethernet port, you may need a hub. So this particular hub doesn't have an Ethernet connection. The OWC doesn't have an actual proper Ethernet plug on it. My Mac Mini has an Ethernet plug, so it wasn't a deal breaker for me. But you can buy a dongle that's USB-C to Ethernet, or you can go in and buy a dock rather than a hub, and the docks should have a Ethernet port in them as well. Just have a little look around. I find the OWC brand to be fantastic. Especially because this is the thing, if you are wanting to do a multi-camera live stream and you use one of your 2 ports for your internet, you're going to need to plug microphones into somewhere and your other camera into somewhere, and that's only if you're using the webcam on your laptop as one of your cameras. So you're really limited by your dongles. So by your ports. So having an extra hub or a dock to help with that is super useful. Livestream consultant says, Mr. Robbie, you have plenty subs to go live on your channel. Just mention that you're going to start live streaming, say, a month worth of videos in advance, and you'll be surprised at how many watch. Yeah, I mean, and it depends on the kind of content and your kind of audience and things like that. But I honestly think that if you really want to live stream, it doesn't matter whether the audience are there or not. You can create your live stream for the replay. You can make it like a one take video. You can run through, like I think yours is kind of a newsies channel. And yeah, so, you know, if it's a newsish channel, then you could run through the news of what it is that you want to talk about, and let people in your audience discuss back with you. And if this is my big thing with live streaming, if you are live streaming, and I know not everybody agrees with me on this, interact with your audience. Seriously, it's not a one-sided thing. It's a live stream for a reason. Now, if you've got a crazy enormous audience and the stream chat is moving so fast, you can find alternative ways. So like Nick Nimmin has a form system. So if you want to ask Nick a question, you just jump in and put in the form, and he'll go through the form one at a time throughout the stream and answer the questions. You can send a super chat for Nick's channel. We still can't super chat here yet. We have Buy Me a Coffee and it does pop up on screen, but we don't have super chat on this channel yet. But you've got lots of ways that you can make it so that you can interact with your audience. If you're not interacting with your audience, if you have zero intention of interacting, if somebody showed up, record a video, don't live stream. I mean, I know that's a bit of a hot take, but if you have zero intention of interacting with your audience, don't bother. People expect interaction in a live stream. They want it, they need it, they expect it, they expect their comments to be acknowledged. They want their interaction, like they want their effort reciprocated. And if you've got a busy stream, they're usually a bit more understanding. I mean, sometimes they're not. I've seen streams with hundreds of people in the chat, and someone's like, oh my God, the host never replies. Oh, notice me, say my name. And you're just sort of looking at it thinking, certainly not. Certainly not. Sabrina, I do have links to my equipment. If you go to my website, chantellehills.com, the link is in the description. There is a tools and resources page. If you scroll to the bottom of that, there's actually kits of all the stuff that I use. I believe everything's in there. It may not be 100% up to date, but it's pretty up to date. So everything I use is in those links, and all the softwares that and all the systems and all the things that I personally use and like are all listed on my tools and resources page as well. So yeah, oh yeah, all the ports. All of the ports. And I like the OWC. I think OWC is fantastic. I've never had a problem with it. I've had it now as long as I've had the Mac Mini. I think we're coming up to about two years. I want to say 2 years. and not an issue. Not an issue. Sabrina says, I want to interact and I want to serve. That is the right heart to have for live streaming. Absolutely. Livestream consultant says, don't be that game streamer sitting in his dungeon in a hoodie and never talk to the stream. Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what I should really add, Doug? I should really add a chat command for resources, shouldn't I? I really should add a chat command for resources. See you later, Lee. Have an awesome one. Get a good night's sleep. But yeah, so having an idea of what it is that you want to stream, having an idea of who your audience is and what they would expect. Look, I'm just going to go and check on, see if that is actually my husband. So I have a be right back screen for just this occasion. No idea what he's barking at, but all the dogs in the street are barking and I could hear the sound of the postman. So could be that all of the dogs are just talking to the postman. And I've realized that my dog has dragged his giant bunny, which is bigger than him, to the front door, and they are both sitting looking out the front door together. Kind of weird. Cute, but weird. Okay. By right, you should have a be right back bark screen. Look, you're right. You're right. Sabrina, on this channel, I actually have a tutorial in how I made that be right back screen. So you can go in and have a look. Now, I resized mine specifically to fit StreamYard, but you don't have to do that if you're not using StreamYard. You don't have the same limitations. So you can do it all up to exactly the same. You can make the exact same thing, and then it works on Ecamm as well. So, yeah, the pupper is full on wolf mode. Absolutely, he is. But yeah, so I definitely think that having a be right back screen is a good idea. I don't like to walk away. I don't. It's not my preferred. But sometimes you just need to. Courier delivery. Your child falls over. Something. So, you know, all of these sorts of things are just, you know, happen in life. Having a be right back screen just means that you can just deal with it. If something happens in the chat and you just need a little moment to pull yourself together, be right back screen. You know, if you're having a technical issue and you just need a little second just to work on it where people can't see you, like, be right back screen. All of these things are really good. Sabrina says, after downloading Ecamm, I forgot about StreamYard. Yeah, you know what? I don't blame you. Sabrina, I used it's all the links for what I used is in that tutorial, but Creator Mix Music is what I've used. It is completely free for us all to use. It is made by streamers, like by creators, for creators. We can use it in our videos, we can use it in our live streams. It's fantastic. And then the actual screen, the image, is from Tuber Tools, which again is made by creators for creators. It wasn't free, but it was inexpensive and definitely worth the money. So definitely, it was a really inexpensive way to do it. And I have matching starting soon screens, be right back screens, and thanks for watching screens. I think I've got different music for each one, but I do have them all. Creator Mix, yeah. So I don't think I've made a thing, but Creator Mix link is in the description as well. So I don't think I've got a chat command for Creator Mix, but it's just creatormix.com. They have a YouTube channel, so you can go and listen to a few things and see if there's some different kinds of music that you want. When I have my productivity stream, so once a month on my other channel, I run what I call a productivity stream. It's really good for people who need to body double to get something done. Doug says it's in the resource link as well. So yeah, on the resource page of my website, excuse me, on the resource page of my website, Creator Mix is in there, and so is Tuber Tools. So all of these things are right there. Creator Mix, I love it. I actually use it in my productivity streams every single month. 3 hours of just me on camera, working away, barely talking. I know it's very hard to imagine. Barely talking, chatting with the chat every now and again, encouraging everybody to get their jobs finished, and just have the music cranked. And we just get stuff done. So you have a think about what sorts of things you could do for your audience. Have a look at what kind of resources are out there, and you may be able to come up with a bit of a unique way to integrate that into your community as well. Sabrina says, oh my God, I've been here for 20 minutes and I've learnt so much already. Phew, I am fired up. Yeah. Yeah. And look, seriously, if you click on any of my affiliate links, I'm not a big creator. Every single one of those is super meaningful to me. This channel is not yet monetized. So anytime someone smushes and buys me a coffee, I'm really excited about it because it's actual real life money in my pocket. So it makes it so that I can, keep going. So yeah, so keep an eye on that. Also, if you have not yet clicked subscribe and you are learning things, please consider subscribing to this channel. I really appreciate it. Sabrina says, I have epidemic sound and I am not too happy with it. I think they're both good, right? Like, I don't think one is superior to the other. I think they're both good, but they both offer different things. For me, epidemic sound is really good for like different kinds of music, and also you can get some good sound effects from epidemic sound. Whereas Creator Mix has got a much smaller range of music because it's one person rather than a whole company just licensing. And I think they're both good, honestly. I really think they're both good. But I personally do not have epidemic sound. I just have Creator Mix at this stage. So I went through, let me know in the chat if you get subscriber creep on your credit card. So every few months I sort of go through my credit card and see, I'll have a look. I'll be like, oh, I didn't realize, because, you sign up for a free trial of something and then you forget about it and then boom, it hits your credit card. And if it's just a small amount, you don't really notice it straight away. Like if it's a big, boof, couple of $100 in it, in a foreign currency that turns into like multiple hundreds of bucks, it's a bit different. But like 15 here, 10 there, they all kind of creeped up. And I realized that it was just like, okay, this is getting a bit much. And so I worked out how often I was using something and dialed things right back to really the core things that I was using, plus a couple of fun things that I like. And so keeping on top of that is really, really, I think it's important. So if I cancel Epidemic Sound now, what happens with the tunes that I use? If they're already uploaded on YouTube, you're fine because they've got dates on them. Epidemic Sound will not claim once you cancel. You are 100% covered. It was content that you uploaded at the time of a current license. It will be fine. But if you have a video coming up and you say you cancel today and you have a video coming up that you uploaded in a week, that one might be iffy. And just because you've got it on your computer now doesn't mean you can keep using that piece of music going forward. No. Anything that's currently uploaded will be fine, but once you have cancelled, you can't use anything after that. So yeah, Doug says just don't use any tracks after you cancel. But yeah, it's totally fine. I've got stuff on my channel from when I had my epidemic sound, never been copyright claimed on those. So yeah, we get to choose, we get to play with these things. And something I'm really loving is that these creative companies, or companies that want creators as their customers, are becoming more understanding of the platforms that we're using, right? Not all of them, like, let's be truthful. Some of them are just out there to get your money and to shaft you in every possible way. But there's quite a few of the good companies that will make it so that it's easy to turn them off and then back on again, because they want you to come back. So they don't want to leave a bad taste in your mouth, like, oh, it was such a drama leaving this particular thing. I'm never going back, right? Like, kind of like how I feel about StreamYard. But hopefully that changes down the track. I feel awful at how much I'm unhappy with StreamYard, because I loved StreamYard so much. So making it so that you can leave and come back and make it easy, I think, is just smart business. Yeah, for me, I left Epidemic Sound purely because I wasn't using it enough to justify paying for it. That's it. That was the only reason. And the other thing is, like, I'm in Australia, so $10 US each, or was it 15 now? Whatever it is US, doesn't sound like a lot in US, but with the Aussie dollar fluctuating so heavily, it could be up to $20, $22 coming off my card. You know, like, it fluctuated, and then every time it hit, it was like an international transaction fee on top of it. Look, it wasn't my favorite way to do it. But that was from an international perspective, and I have that on anything that I choose internationally. So I have to really want it, is what really comes down to. Dimmy Hard, welcome to the chat. I'm just double checking here that I haven't missed anyone over on LinkedIn. I don't believe I have. I have mostly, like, if you're watching on LinkedIn, let me know, say hi. I do know that we get some views over there, just not many comments. That's all. That's cool. That's cool. So what it boils down to when we're starting our live streaming is, what is it we want? What are we trying to put out? Right? And then you've got this idea in your head of what you want. You've watched another creator, you want that, or you want something like that, except with this and except with that, and, you know, like, different bits and bobs. But you've got this idea that you want. Now it's your job to go and work out how to do all those different things, and then decide, do you actually really want them, or did you just kind of think they looked a bit cool? Because one of the things that can happen is we can make our streams too complicated, and therefore we don't enjoy the streaming process as much, because we're trying to keep 27 plates spinning and we're not able to focus on our content. Because in reality, you're here to learn something. You're here, your audience is there to really just get in and have a go. Now, I want to say, I'm seeing posts come through from LinkedIn, but from my phone, not from I'm just going to mute this just in case. Oh, what am I even talking about? There we go. Not from the software. Do LinkedIn comments work well with Social Stream Ninja? They probably would if I had have connected them. I did not. I just assumed that I would be able to get them through Ecamm, which I'm not. They're not coming through Ecamm at all. Paris T is saying, I'm trying to watch you in any way possible between driving and meetings. Appreciate that, Paris T. Thanks so much for jumping in. So I'll just keep that there. I'll just keep it there. Let's have a look. Sabrina says, it piles up, cutting costs so we can use our funds widely. I need to develop this skill, so thank you so much for that information. One of the things that I just do, as course of my year is every 90 days, I go through my credit card and just double check that the things that I'm spending money on are things I want to be continuing to spend money on. And are there alternatives? Are there other options I want to try? Things like that. And make decisions from there. But sometimes you're like, yep, that's cool, and just move on. It's now it's a fast process. It used to take a lot longer, but now it's a faster process. Doug said I spent over $500. I spent over $500 over several years for a merch selling site that I never used. Yeah, I bet we've all got something on our credit card or on our bank statement where we bought something and then it just didn't do what we wanted it to do, or we didn't end up making the effort to make it do the thing, and we just don't use it. And then sometimes there's a recurring cost. Like, websites are shockingly expensive. Like, I have 2 websites. I've just merged them over onto the one site hosting to try and save some bucks. And I was so nervous about doing that I'm just sorry. My daughter has got our cat at the vet, and I'm just double checking to see if everything's okay. So poor Macy, who is our little ginger ninja, has not been very ninja-like the last couple of days. She hasn't been eating. She's only 2, and she's been very poorly, and so she's off to the vet today. It's Monday here, so, and my daughter's a vet nurse, or nearly a fully trained vet nurse. So she's off to the vet today. So sorry to be distracted. But yeah, it's, and it was just a message of Macy's. Macy is in the cages, and she's laying in the little bed, and she's got a little towel over her head. I'm not quite sure why she's got a little towel on her head. She hasn't taken it off. So usually she would be so sassy, that thing would have been kicked outside of, like, she would have flicked her head and ninja kicked it across the room. So yeah, she's a little poorly. She's a little poorly. So sorry, yeah. So Doug was saying that he'd spent $500 on over several years for a merch selling site. My website for Fiberific was about to auto renew, and it was going to auto renew at $1,700 for 2 years with the company that I was at. And over the years, I'd slowly at one point I was accidentally upgrading something because I was told it was going to fix a problem, and it never fixed it. But they were giving me a good price on that, so I didn't really worry about it. And so 2 years ago, the website upgrade cost $900. Not upgrade, but the website costing was $900 for the next 2 years. This time it was $1,700 for 2 years. And I was just like, oh, hell no. I need to look into this and work out what I'm doing. And like, am I even using it? Am I using it to its full extent? I used to have a fully, like, 15,000 line items, and with selling, like, I was packing and shipping orders every single day. I had little tiny mini warehousey space and was just shipping and packing orders every single day. And then I moved out of physical stock. Sabrina Norton, you're awesome, Chantelle. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for the coffees. I'm going to have a sip of this coffee in celebration. Are these the same color? Like, was that this? I'm going to have to check that. This might have to be my stream coffee cup now to make it match. Because I'm weird like that. I'll have to check that. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Oh, where at you for watch hours for monetization? Well, let us have a look. Currently, we're at 2,100 public watch hours. So we're 900 hours off fan funding monetization for this channel. But we are creeping up with the subscribers as well. So by the time we get that extra 900 hours, we'll probably be pushing for the full AdSense monetization. So yeah, how cool is that? Let's have a look here. Yeah, I might have some water as well. Thank you for the hydrate and the coffee. 900 hours to go. Like we're under 1,000 hours to go. Like that feels pretty good. Like I understand it's still a lot. Like don't get me wrong, I do, but it actually feels really nice. It feels really nice. Esme Sky says, nice, that's where I'm around at too. That is awesome. Go us. Wouldn't that be cool if we both hit monetization at the same time? I just want to check LinkedIn again just to make sure I'm, because it turns out that it's not coming through. Doug says there's some great interviews in the back catalogue. Oh, look, I had some fantastic conversations with some fantastic creators back in the day. Couple of interviews with Justin Brown. We've got Viper is in there. On this channel. Yep, this is what we're talking about on this channel. Yep, it's not yet monetized. It's my newer channel. So we've got a couple of interviews with Justin Brown. We've got Doug has been on, Andrew Can has been on, Shelley Saves the Day, Rob Balasabas from Uscreen. Lots of people would come on and we would have conversations, and just really we just have a really great chat about using live streaming in our businesses and in our day-to-days. So lots of different niches as well, which I thought was really cool. Do I hear a challenge? No, I'm not adding any pressure on myself or on SMA Sky. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing and do the best that we can do. And if it just so happens that we both hit it at around the same time, that would be so awesome. That's all. Making competitions out of everything. Jeepers. I can't have that kind of pressure in my life. I'm already going grey. I don't need more help, okay? I don't need the help. All right. Where are we at? All right, we've hit our hour mark. Around this time in our streams, we tend to go off the rails more. Now, I know today it's a lot more Q&A, which was the intention for today. It's a lot more like if you've got a question about YouTube, about live streaming, you put that in the chat. So usually on these streams, it's a little more targeted. It's really not. But that's my goal, right? And then the second hour, we just go in rando land, whatever we want to talk about, whatever we're chatting about in the chat. It's a lot more relaxed, and that's kind of like I have that as my plan, as my goal. But what works, all right? Yeah, I'm with you. I don't need any more pressure. Yeah, I'm putting enough pressure on myself. I'm already like oh wait, I work for how many people plus I've got 2 channels and a family. Like, oh, I'm sorry, what? Livestream consultant says I'm already past the grey. Oh gosh. Yeah. Look, I'm just going grey. I've been going grey since I was 15. But now what I'm doing, not that you guys care, but what I'm doing is I've stopped dyeing my hair. I've stopped hiding the grey is what's come down. So next time you guys see me, it will be different than the time at Vid Summit. It will be very different. So, unless I break and go, I can't cope with the grey and go and dye my hair again. But I thought I'd care more about all the grey showing. I don't. I just don't. I'm like, whatever. My issue is more that because I had all my hair cut off as well, it's more like it's Wild Man from Borneo, and that bothers me more than like controlling the frizz and everything. That bothers me more. The only way I can hide the white is with a hat. Well, I recommend wearing hats whenever we're outdoors. I am Australian. We've all grown up with no hat, no play ingrained into us. So wear the hat if that's what you want to do. Yeah, right. Yeah, Livestream Consultants is adding the pressure. I'm not. I just want to make that clear. It's Livestream Consultants doing it. So, and you can bet your bottom dollar I'll be scrubbing back in the stream and double checking to see if this is actually the same pink as my coffee, because if it is, that's hilarious and it was unintentional. This is actually Abby's cup. Abby's got the pink one, and I might have to trade her my blue one. She may not want to trade. I'll just keep using her without telling her when she's at work and she can't do anything about it. I'm that person. Like, oh, what a shame. What a shame. Light speed. Our livestream consultant says I got Doug's double Doug Dare hat for Vid Summit this year. That is awesome. I love that you're going to wear that hat at Vid Summit. I think that's going to be so cool. I really do. I think it's going to be great. I'm like, I wonder if I could come up with some sort of merch for us just to play with at Vid Summit. But then I don't have any ideas. And if you've already got a hat, you don't want two hats. You want something else. You know, I just don't know. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But I love making, Fiberific's got merch, and I love making merch. Merch is fun. But I don't know what I would do for mine. I haven't actually given it enough thought. Basically, because unlike numbers for live streaming, I do think you need a certain number of subscribers before you start pushing your merch. Well, not so much subscribers, but viewers. I think you need a certain community. You know, I think that there needs to be, like Doug hasn't got Doug Houston YT as his merch. He's got Double Doug Dare, and that is an in-joke in his community, which I love. You know, so I want to, do we even have any in-jokes here yet? I mean, aside from my addiction to coffee, there's probably something that we say all the time, and it's just so ingrained now, I'm not even thinking about it. And you guys will be like, oh, what about this? If you've got suggestions, throw them in. I'm all for it. I would happily either add it just to add it to the Fiberific merch store, or you know, and go from squirrel's a good one. Something with a squirrel would be cute, which is hilarious because we don't really have squirrels in Australia. But yeah, it would be cool. Let's have a look here. Livestream consultant says I can wear a different hat on the second day. Come up with one and I'll wear it. I'll have to give it some thought. I'm writing it down. I'm about to have a holiday. I'm going away for just 1 week, just local, just driving holiday. And I take notepads with me, because quite often in that, you know, when you're relaxing and you try not to think about work, sometimes you're like, oh, that's a fantastic idea, and then you've got no way to remember it. So I'm like notes app in my phone. Oh, wait a second. I just, like, Doug's going to be like, oh my God, how stupid are you for not realizing it? I can use the same notes app and sync up my notes with my computer and my phone now. Oh. Okay, I've got it, all right? Like, I understand how stupidly, like, of course that is. But I'm still, like, I've never been an iPhone user, and I'm still finding things. They're like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. Oh, that's cool. Like, look, seriously, I've got my daughter's old iPhones here, right? So it's not that I've never used an iPhone, but I've used these as cameras, more than anything else. And just to double check YouTube apps and things like that. I've never used an iPhone as my phone and as my daily driver. So as I'm using it more, I'm finding things. Okay. And I also realized that it's just about dead. I forgot to charge it overnight, and I listen to audiobooks all night. So it's not like it gets to have a sleep. It does not. I mean, live streaming with crashing and burning. I mean, we could have some sort of like live streaming on a dumpster that's on fire. I mean, that could work, right? Like the dumpster fire. Like, that's something I say a bit. Yeah, Apple Notes is seamless. Yeah, because it's like I'm a Google Keep girl, because on my Pixel, I loved Google Keep for keeping up with everybody else, but my husband's not an Apple user, so we're still going to keep Google Keep. Doug says, my live stream just crashed and burned. You guys are awesome. I'm writing these down because I want to be inspired. Yep, that'll work. Yeah, it could be fun. It could be fun. And then, you know, with a dump, like I love the dumpster fire. So I'll, you know, that is a little bit what happens here sometimes. We test things, we break things, they crash and burn. It's kind of what happens. It's like, oh, let's test a new streaming software and see if we can make it do what we want it to do. Nope, it's not working. How can you even still hear me? So yeah, or as an airplane going down in flames and live stream on the side of it. Oh dear. I mean, I like the idea. I'm just not a fan of the visuals. I'm a bit paranoid about flying. And I just don't know if I like that visual. But yeah. And like, does anyone really want to wear a hat with a dumpster on it? Like a dumpster and a fire with live stream written on it. Yeah, I don't know. Do we want those visuals, you know, I don't know. Yeah, that would be, yeah, I do get how, like, that the plane is awesome because it crashes and burns. I do like that. I'm just not sure how, like, yeah. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, like coming up with good fun merch for your community that is interactive and fun, and it's not just your brand. Like a lot of my Fiberific merch is just my branding, but we did have some fun with it. I had a graphic designer for a little while and he had some fun with it. And so, you know, we definitely, you know, got some cool ideas from that. But I think I love, like, with how Doug's is it's actually something that is said in his streams, you know, and I think that people will be more likely to, and you, like, ultimately you do want to make it a bit broader so that while it's a bit of an in joke, it's actually fun for those that may not be in your community as well, if you want to actually sell more merch. How about a mic that's on fire with an on-air sign? I mean, that could be pretty fun too. Yep, we all talk about it happening in the streaming community or as a train wreck too. Yep. Or the on-air sign on fire. I mean, that could work. That's kind of funny. That could potentially work. I like that. Oh, you guys are awesome. Honestly, you're so fun, so much fun. You're so much fun. Be like, my husband would be like, I thought we were having a holiday, and there I am on my laptop, like, designing merch. Oh dear, that would be so fun. But yeah, no, I'm just going up to a place called Coolum. It's just a beach town, and just we went there last winter, and it was just so beautiful. We're actually going up, we're staying at the same place again. The venue was lovely. It was low key. It was like just a gentle walk out of town. So it's not quite so hustle and bustly, and but then it's like 20 minutes drive to everywhere that we want to go. So it will be really fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Livestream Consultants is just going to whip some stuff up for me. Thanks. That'd be cool. SMA Sky said that clear skies is a thing that people in astronomy say to each other. I use clear skies to all as my sign off, so I've made merch with the clip art. Yeah, because even at the end of streams when we say goodbye, you always say clear skies to all, like in our streams. So absolutely. And that's the thing, right? Like and you're right, you should absolutely be ordering some samples so you can wear them as well. I realized because I have Fiberific mugs, and when I started using my Fiberific mugs during my live streams, I noticed my sales of Fiberific mugs went up. People were like, ooh, hang on a second. You know, like I found like little things like in the crafting world, little zip pouches are just perfect. So this is my little Fiberific Ninja. And so we just made like this and just into a little zip pouch, sell heaps of little zip pouches. crafters love like totes for poking their projects into. This is on totes. You know, like I know I was in a members call, like I run a monthly members call for my channel members, and one of the ladies, she was in a park on the call, and she had hers next to her, and I didn't even realize she had one. I had no idea. So, and they just use it. So finding something that is specific to your niche that they will use and that they will wear. Like if you say you're in an astronomy group, right? More often than not, those guys are going to have their caps on backwards if they're going to wear hats, right? So make sure that there's something on the back of the cap as well, not just the front. So that, you know, it's like, I think, let me have a look here. Yeah, okay. I mean, I know the Can Do Creator hat has changed since I bought mine, but they've got the Can Do Creator community on the front, but then also on the back, they've got the logo there as well. So don't just have a think about how people wear things, how they use it, and then make sure that it's you know, fun that way as well. So, you know, just give it some thought when you're making merch to make sure it's not just your logo, but making sure that it's something that's useful, right? So a lot of these merch companies like let me think, Spreadshop, Redbubble, Teespring, a lot of these have more than one option, right? They don't just do a t-shirt. They don't just do a coffee cup, right? They've got like lots of options. And having these so many different things means that you can actually have a think about, like, what is it that you and your niche use? Like it's not beyond the realms that I could make a funny little pouch or a slightly bigger pouch than this for cables, right? For poking our cables into, for live streamers, for putting our dongles in to throw them into our bags so that we can find them easily, because it's not a black background. Most of our bags are black, right? So having it so that you can just reach in and find your pouch of cables, and, you know, having the crash live stream crash and burn on that. Actually, has that got the needles in it? I've been looking. Hang on a second. No, that was what was making the noise. I've been looking for a little. Anyway, have a think about how people use things before you run off and make all the merch. You love that idea. There's so much I need to learn. There is so much. You don't have to learn it all at once. You can do one thing at a time if you want. You don't have to do everything all at once. I think the hay design I have had the telescope and words in the front and either my logo or website in the back, similar with the shirts, I believe. Yeah, because, like, you know, if especially like for you, right? Using telescopes can either be a solitary thing, but I also know that I've got friends who will go out together and they go on like little trips out into Whoop Whoop to get away from the night lights and go where there's no like light pollution, and they'll all sit together and talk to each other, and they'll be like in a circle facing around so they all get different views. Having something on the backs of their shirts on you know, facing away from them as well is actually super useful. So lots of different things that we can be doing to help our community blend together, and then also to help our community help us, right? Because, like, we've had this discussion, creating videos is not a free thing to do. We can make it as low cost with equipment we already have, but you had to buy that equipment at some stage. It wasn't free, right? Unless, you know, you've got access to some phenomenal collection of things from other people. But yeah, it's just having a way for those people to be together. I know I got a DM from somebody who was shopping at Spotlight, which is like our Joann's here in Australia, or Michael's, and they both had fiberific bags, and they'd never met each other. They didn't know each other. They realized they hadn't seen each other in the stream, and they both had the bags, and that was it. They went shopping together after that, and then went out and had coffee, and it was just phenomenal. And they're friends now, and it's just bizarre. It's just bizarre how things work out. I see so many people offering pouches and bags, and then I think I shouldn't offer those, but I'm now understanding that it might be the opposite. Well, and this is the thing, yeah, sure. I can't tell you how many totes I've got. I've got tons, not all from creators, but just every time I go shopping, they're like, do you want a bag? And you're like, yes. So you're going to pay $2 and get your bag. But this is also about community building. It's not just about, selling a bag that someone does or doesn't want. It's about them feeling a part of your community and them feeling like they've helped to support you. So sometimes it's not all about you. It's a tough one to get your head around sometimes. I've been out to a star party once before I got my telescope. It was pretty neat. Yeah. You could embroider your logo on your bag and create it and sell. And I mean, that's the thing. You could totally make them yourself if that's what you want to do. But Fourth Wall, actually, which is where the Can Do Creator merch comes from. They're another merch company. They're really good. You've got the option to embroider your stuff onto it. So if you're an embroidery channel, it might make more sense that your merch is embroidered and not screen printed. So, you've got these options as well. Some of them will just print it on. Like I think I've got my old Fibrific hat here. Hang on a second. I got to think about hats, all right? I love hats. That's my thing that I collect. All right, so this is old and it's dodgy, but and it's stained and I spilled a coffee on it. But this was my Fibrific hat, right? But that's embroidered on as well. Whereas you've got actually all my hats are embroidered. Maybe I've got a thing for embroidered hats. I didn't realize I had a thing for embroidered hats. I just thought I had a thing for hats. Whereas a lot of the shirts are just printed on. The Can Do Creator shirts are embroidered as well. So, yeah. It's not about the money. And let's be really honest, unless you're selling thousands of these things, you're not going to be making much in the way of money anyway. Or even hundreds, or even because a lot of these companies, they just give you a little portion, so they wear the cost of keeping everything in stock, of the portal, of the payment system, everything like that. And you just get a little slice of the pie. I think off a coffee cup, I think I made $2 and the cups were $15 or something. And so, I've got to sell 10 cups to make $20 kind of thing. So, you're not doing the merch in our sort of scale. You're not really doing that for the money. You're doing that for the community, to give them something that they've all got. But you can even do stickers and things like that. I don't know how you feel about putting stickers on your equipment. I got a friend whose sewing machine case is covered in all sewing machine themed stickers. You could make stickers. I've got stickers somewhere. There's one. Oh, there we go. There's the other one. So this is just a clear one, which it says, Maker, Creator, Procrastinator, because that's my life. I just totally do craft instead of whatever I'm supposed to be doing. And then over on Fibrific, one of the things that we talk about over there is obviously I have opinions about things. Have you met me? But we have this one, which is Poke the Bear. So it actually, when you peel it off, it actually is around the bear. So it's a soapbox. So, I'll get up on my soapbox and then they'll poke the bear. And so, they're funny things. And that's just a couple of bucks. That'll cost your audience a couple of bucks. You'll make maybe 20 or 30 cents. But it's a good way to give them something that's inexpensive that they can have together. So I honestly believe that when we're building our live streaming audiences, we're trying to build a community, or at least that's my goal, right? So I don't just look at it from live streaming that perspective. I look at it as what is happening around it to have, to build a community as part of it at the same time. Because I want you all to be friends with each other and support each other as well. And I think that that's the important thing. I guess I needed this conversation to see things a little differently. And this is the thing, like, these are just ideas. You don't have to do it this way. You don't have to do it anyway. You can walk your own path. But if we can help make your path a little less hilly and a little less rocky, then we win. We all win. Community building is way more important than the pennies from the merch. That statement right there. That is, for me, and again, this is where I differ from some creators, and I feel that without a community, or without the goal of building a community, what is the point? I love to have a group of people loving the same thing together. And communities shift, and they're like the ocean, they shift and change, and that's normal. But just being aware of it and helping your community to get their win, that's so important for me. That's what I want for all of you, is I want you to go out and whatever it is that you want to do in this live streaming, in this YouTube sort of adventure that you're currently on, and I want you to win. Whatever your win looks like, I want you to win. Louie's back. Livestream consultant says, oh yeah, stickers are big in the drone community. I have a trunk of equipment that is covered with stickers from drone pilots from all over the country that I have personally met and flown with. Do you have a sticker that you give them as well? Like, have you made stickers? Because I mean, I made these on Redbubble, and I just got, because I run a retreat every year, and I had a pile of these printed and shipped to me to put into the retreat bags. So you can actually get them printed for yourself. I mean, you don't have to do it through Redbubble. You could design it and put it through Vistaprint. You've got options. Sabrina says, I flirted with these ideas. I was just not convinced enough to move forward. I have to test it. And the idea is to build the space for like-minded people to have a place to come. Yeah, like, you just, like, getting some of the framework in place. Are you right there? Jeepers, mate. Getting some of the framework in place so that you've got it in the back of your mind so that you're ready. I think is you don't need any of this stuff to start building a community. You just don't. But if you've got some ideas percolating in your mind so that when you think the community is ready for something, so we've got 9 now, amazing people here watching this stream, would all 9 of them purchase some quirky sticker or cap? Possibly. Would they do this like what I do and just have it laying around? Possibly. Or would they stick it to something? Maybe. I don't know. But you've got to have this idea of, just let the ideas percolate, and the audience will let you know when they're ready for something. They really will. They'll let you know when they're ready. Like Doug with his hat. But I Doug, if you do stickers, I'm buying a sticker. I actually need to buy a Double Doug Dare hat because it needs to go over here on my hat pile. But I'm all about the stickers as well. Livestream consultant says yes, and I even have iron-on patches too for the jackets. That's awesome. I love that. John's waiting for the Double Doug Dare board game. Like, you bought subscribers. Go to jail. Go directly to jail. Oh no. You got 3 copyright claims, 3 copyright strikes in 90 days. You've been terminated. End of game. Oh my gosh. That's so good. When you pick the Dare card, it says something like, explain the easy button for YouTube. Oh, that's so cool. Yes, you absolutely should have some of your own merch for streams. You really should. You really should. Like, if it's so good, why don't you have any? That's how I see it. Like, for me, it's just like, oh, you want me to buy your merch, but you don't have one. You don't even have the test to see if it worked. Yeah, the iron-on patches is a great idea. Like, there's some niches that the iron-on patch is just perfect. Absolutely. John, I love this idea for. Oh, hang on, come back. I love this idea for this game. Like this. And the reality is, we know people who could put all this together. Like, you know, whether it's like it doesn't have to be like an actual board game. It could be a digital game. It could, you know, we've got options, man. We've got options. So, gosh. There's so many ways to have a fun community and build a great group of people that love the same thing that you do. You are limited by your imagination and your time. There are so many free things that we can use in tools. Social Stream Ninja, like I'm not sure if you've noticed, like Doug's put a heart in his comment and it's floating around the screen. You know, oh, there it is. It's gone. It's gone. Come back. Come back, little. Oh, it's gone now. And so, you know, you need to have a think about some of this stuff and work out, could you integrate it easily enough? Like, I don't want to be making this hard for you. This is supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable for you and your community. You know, so we have to work out a way to make it so that it's doable and that it's fun for everybody. You know, like I know for a fact that if Shark Scrapper was in here right now, he'd be sending little spider emojis all around because he knows how I feel about spiders. And he would have an absolute blast with it, right? And we learn these things about our communities. We learn these things. So Double Dug Dare, easy mode for YouTube. Oh my gosh. Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, that is awesome timing. That is impeccable timing. Oh, there we go. John's sending me some little emojis to point at. So, thanks, John. Oh, yeah, okay. It looks like a spider to me, all right? Look, see? Does anybody else... We have this argument all the time. Isn't it supposed to be like the live streaming thing? I don't know what it is. It looks like a spider to me. I'm sorry. No, get off my face, little red spider. Get off. No, I'm leaning into it. Get away from me. But yeah, I swear it looks like a spider. So, and this is the thing, we have fun with it. It's got to be fun, right? And there's nothing to say you can't be educational and fun at the same time. Like if you are like, I mean, I have my knitting and crafting channel. Prime example, we'll be doing something together. I'll be pulling my hair out, you know, like everyone else thinks it's hilarious because they've done it in 14 seconds flat. That's very patriotic, Doug. I'm not quite sure why you've gone so hard on the Australian flags. Sabrina can't hear me. Can anybody else still hear me? Or is it just Sabrina? The squirrels are good. I like the squirrels. Frankie over 50. You had a nice sleep in. That is awesome. Welcome to the chat. Oh, Sabrina said the sound was gone. Was it gone for everybody or just for Sabrina? Doug says audio is 5x5. Okay. I don't know. I didn't do anything. One thing I will say, Sabrina, is if you're going to live stream, have a row of beverages handy. Don't let yourself run out of liquid. You're going to be talking. And look, I'm not a big fan of eating on streams. I know some people don't care. I personally am not a big fan of it. And I know some people who don't like streaming while they have a drink either. They'll put on a be right back screen and they'll throw to a stinger or something while they have a drink. I'm okay with and you've got to work out what works for you personally. None of them is wrong. None of them is wrong. I just know what I personally can put up with. And I can't really cope well listening to other people eat. And I can't cope well knowing that other people are listening to me eat. So I just don't. I don't eat on stream. But I'll happily, no issues at all, have a drink. I used to be like, oh no, I'm just going to have a little drink and just try and sneaky do it. And then I'm like, I'm streaming for a couple of hours, man. Obviously I'm going to need a drink. Or, you know, I'm going to die because that's what will happen. I'm just having a little look just to see if that's... Okay, so Macy... Macy is now in a cone of shame. And she's very unhappy about it. Sorry. Sabrina says, can't hear you. It's muted. Are you sure you haven't muted it on your end? I'm seeing all my audio signals are fine. I would double check not that she can hear me. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, I love that. That's a great idea. We had a show where we sip tea while spilling the tea. I love that. I love that. Yeah, I think Sabrina's having the audio issues. I don't think it's a system-wide, you know, stream-wide thing. SMA Sky can hear. That's good. But that's all right. So, you know, we're winding up anyway. We're just having our end of stream natter, our talk, me complaining about the world, you know, all that sort of stuff. So, live stream consultant says he can hear me fine in the States. Well, that's good. That's good. Loud and clear across the country, across an ocean and into another country. My mum would say that's unsurprising. Oh dear. Oh, that's very loud, Louis. That's very loud. So, on that note, everybody, I'm going to run away. I've got to go and pack for my holiday and get some things ready. And I will see you all back here next week. I'm away until Sunday, so I'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat station. I'll have a slightly different topic, so jump in, come and hang out, and have an awesome week and look after yourselves. Don't put too much pressure on trying to make it perfect, because the world isn't perfect. Just make it happen. I'll see you all next time. Bye now. I clicked thanks for watching. Why is that not working?